We have a great discussion, an incredible lineup of speakers and thought leaders here today, which is excellent for us to dive deep on some important topics and hear some really compelling perspectives on the issues from all the great leaders that have decided to be here. My name is H.G. Chisel. I'm founder and CEO of Advanced Energy Group. It is a stakeholder mobilization platform focused on helping cities and vulnerable regions achieve their climate, health, and equity commitments. We work quarterly in Chicago, New York, Boston, the DMV area. We started in Washington, D.C., but that's grown into Maryland and Virginia. And then we do annual programming in Atlanta, Houston, and we run Puerto Rico Energy Week. So all of those conversations or workshops are focused on how do we enable a cross section of leaders, public, private, civic, to align on that critical next step that needs to be addressed so that cities and regions can achieve these very important but difficult promises. So that's the work we do. I'm lucky to be sponsored by Burns McDonnell with our work. We have about 65 public and private sponsors, and Burns McDonnell has been a great champion of our work in Chicago. So I'm grateful for the connection there. And I've been a great partner and supporter of Z Prime for many years back in Austin days. And so I was really excited to make the connection with Z Prime and Burns McDonnell. I know Burns McDonnell had this incredible space for a dialogue like this. And I knew Z Prime was coming with the ETS Chicago. So happy to make the connection and enable and support this dialogue for happening today. Jason Rodriguez is here to say a few words of welcome, and then we'll pass it over to our host.
Thank you, HG. Welcome everyone to ETS at Chicago. I'm glad the weather cooperated with us this Wednesday. I know Monday was a pretty hectic day, but as HG said, my name is Jason Rodriguez. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Z Prime and Frolic. Z Prime is a research media and events company focused on the clean energy transition. We decided to start this regional series because this is the third largest city in the US. Number two, ComEd has set some ambitious goals for the Chicago region to be, and I have my notes here, 100% carbon-free grid by 2030 or approaching it, 4,000 distributed energy resources by 2030, or customers with DERs, and a grid to enable 1.8 million EVs. That's pretty ambitious. 2030, that's not very far. And we want to start off with communities and the people tackling very hard problems. This isn't a community that's saying, no, we're going to wait, we're going to push this out. This is a community that's willing to do the hard work, take the hits on the chin, so to speak, to make mistakes, to fail. And this is why we're here, because the people in this room are building this grid, are talking to policymakers, talking to stakeholders, and we wanted to start this hard conversation with folks that are rolling up their sleeves and have the scars to prove it, because the time is now. And we're very excited to kick this off in Chicago. Our next event is in Sacramento, where they also have a 2030 net zero plan, and then we're going to move to Miami and talk about some of the challenges of how they have built a resilient grid to withstand all the hurricanes they had in that region. So, with that, we're very grateful there. Very grateful to Burns McDonnell. Very grateful for HG and all the amazing work he's done, and all our partners who made this possible. You see them here on our sponsors. Make sure to talk to them. Without them, we couldn't make this possible. So with that, Mike, very grateful for you and your team who's helped us put this together. I'll hand it over to Mike Volta.
Thank you very much, Jason. It's always worse going last because you took half my spiel there. You already kind of laid out the goals of Illinois and the Midwest. But number one, welcome everybody to Chicago. Thank you for your time. Uh, we'll do a quick safety moment. With that, it's the obvious one. But if for some reason we had to evacuate the space, you will get some recording. The building will take control and give some announcements over the PA system. We'll have a floor marshal that has been assigned that will come in and help us walk and follow those directions through. If we have to evacuate the building, we would walk out these doors, and there's a stairwell on this side. We would walk down. We can't take any personal items. The Chicago Fire Department is very adamant about that. I've watched them take cell phones and purses and things away from people in drills. So nothing goes with you. You'll walk out, and then we'll walk about a block and a half to 2 blocks in front of Willis Tower. And I suggest you look out the window, and there's a green space out there on the break, and we'll rally there and just make sure we've got everybody accounted for coming forward. I doubt it happens. We don't have any fire drill planned. We've had an event or two where a fire drill did creep up on us, but I think we're going to be good to go. So jumping into it, Burns McDonnell is really excited to host this event. It's great to put thought leaders in a room and have them talk about what we're going to accomplish moving forward. Really, the funny thing, it's almost first full circle with Burns McDonnell. Burns McDonnell was founded in 1898 by two gentlemen from Stanford University, Mr. Burns and Mr. McDonnell. It's pretty unique that we've kept our name throughout that whole period of time. They elected to put our first office in Kansas City, Missouri. And people ask, why Kansas City, Missouri? They came from Stanford, out in the West Coast. Well, at that time, the Western sprawl was just about to happen, or was happening, and Kansas City was kind of on that borderline. And their thought process was it was a place where they could get to the greatest number of cities that did not have electricity or water. One train ride away was the parameter they used, drew a circle, and they said, this is a target rich environment. We're going to land in Kansas City. Over 125 years later, we're still solving those problems with different inputs. With that being said, it's very interesting. Our business was founded on exactly what we guys are going to talk about today. We are a constructor, an engineer, and an architect. About 25 years ago, we pivoted to the contracting side of the house. That's very unusual from the engineering side. We're seeing the construction side of the house make the transition into the engineering. It's a lot easier to get for them. Not that we're feeling bad for ourselves, but it's a much easier to get with them. We've found key partners over the years where maybe we were in joint ventures doing a power plant or a transmission line, and 3 projects in, all of a sudden an electrical engineer shows up from their side, and eventually, just like any business, they're tooling up. Well, we decided to do the same. Well, we own a couple construction companies, and we are heavily in the EPC arena. Half of our revenue is construction at risk, which is pretty substantial for an engineering company, and we do a lot of work in this arena, in this area. So as we move forward with the people here, it's a great place to be for this market. The Midwest is taking a lead. ComEd and others are looking to move forward. A lot of you here are representing organizations that are going to be part of that. And to be part of that, it's going to take partnerships, collaboration, and teamwork to get to these goals. So we're excited here to spend some time. I always take note of how we seat people, or people seat themselves in a room, and it's just like college. No one wants to, it's like Friday at a lecture, and no one wants to sit in the front on Friday on a lecture. So, but I would actually ask you to, during the breaks, try to mix it up and sit next to different people and make some introductions, because we're going to get a lot of great information from our panelists coming forward here. But I think equally important are the connections and the relationships you make while you're here today for us for the entire day. We have refreshments here. I think we did talk when you were entering. I heard him talk. Bathrooms, men's bathrooms on this side, mirrored on the other side are women's. If you need anything else, find someone with the Burns McDonnell badge and ask them, and we'll be happy to accommodate. With that, I think we'll get the program started.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks so much. All right. Good segue into an important question for you. First, I think it's important to acknowledge that how difficult it is to get leaders like yourself into a room. Convening people in a room is hard. What happens in a room when everyone's together is what's important. We only have a limited amount of time together. What is the best possible set of outcomes from this time that we have together? I invite you to think about that question and share what you think the best possible outcomes from today could be, so we hold those intentions as we get into a conversation. As Mike mentioned, we can have this be a passive conversation, or we can have this be an active conversation. We can have this be a conversation where we learn but contribute little. Or we can have this be a conversation where we learn, discuss, align, and get excited about acting on something. Those are all up to us. We have that choice. In order to know which pathway we decide to take today, it's all about stating that desired outcome. So if you're a sponsor of this event today, please raise your hand. All right, great. Excellent. One of those sponsors of this event, would you mind if you have a desired outcome you'd like to share with the audience for today that could be a best possible outcome? You might want to go first. We'll start going this way, and then someone will raise their hand before I make it to the croissants. Yes, thank you so much. And would you introduce yourself, please?
But hi, everyone. Maria Kretzing from Bidgely. I think, we've always loved ETS, and even, in Austin had so many great sessions. And an outcome we've always gathered is actually really bringing together people from different sides of our industry. So whether it's construction and engineering, policy, but then also software providers like ourselves. So today, I'm really looking forward to the conversations and seeing how we can see synergies, across. And really, I know it's cheesy, but there are still so many silos in the industry, and maybe take away how others and in the community have broken down those silos. So that's the outcome I'm looking for.
So in your mind, envision all these silos and then imagine them breaking apart and the synergy coming out from that breakthrough through those silos. What else? Coming forward over here. Next up. All right, please. Intro.
I feel like this is like Let's Make a Deal or something like that for folks of a little bit older like myself. Hey, everybody, Matt Tobias. I'm a partner with Deloitte Consulting. Been working with Jason on a number of these ETS initiatives. The obvious is I live here in Chicago. We serve Exelon and understand that there are these significant aspirations, as we talked about a few minutes ago. And there's a lot of pieces, there's a lot of things that are going to need to be done to sort of enable all of that. So as a partner and as somebody who lives in the community, really excited to understand how we can serve that, and then how we can sort of help bring some of these groups together. Who should we be partnering with? Who should we be sort of helping to make those connections in Exelon and other places to sort of make all this happen?
A better understanding of where we should go with assistance and help.
Exactly.
To see real places of need. Excellent. Any others? Why don't you see if you can pass that?
All right. Who else really wants a microphone for it? Audience approved.
I love that this is a smaller group, and my hope is that we can like think a little bit smaller. I get frustrated sometimes speaking in the abstract of like we spend 3 hours being like our program should be more accessible, and then we all agree for 3 hours. But like, can we decide like 3 things that we all want to try to do, or like what makes our circles a Venn diagram and something that we can all participate in, like that we can do within the next month or 2 months or 3 months, so we can check it off. Oh, hi everyone. I'm Angie Ostaszewski. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for New Buildings Institute. You can just call me Angie O because no one can say Ostaszewski.
Hillary, you want to say?
No. Well, thanks, Angie. Angie and I knew each other in a former lifetime of our current roles, and this is a rock star. And I bet HG wanted to do flips when she said, "What can we do in the next 2 months, 3 months?" Because that is his ammo. And I have to say, you are incredibly wonderful at leading groups of people to accomplish amazing things in a short amount of time. So I would say, I hope we can replicate that, given that we have a leader here who champions the ability to get amazing, powerful people to do amazing things in a set amount of time. I too, so I'm just going to +1 on let's not just convene, but let's act and create an impact. Hillary Scott Ogurinde, I'm Deputy Director for the Office of Energy and Business Utility for the Illinois Department of Commerce.
Thank you. All right, so now we got some stated outcomes in the room that should help start to strengthen kind of our intention for today. And it's up to us to create that spirit in the room. So Mike, back to you. If we're going to embrace that about understanding how to help uh, looking for inspiration towards accountability and action, we're going to have a different room, right? There's not going to be empty seats all the way up here. We're going to have people pulling people over to this side of the room, over to that side of the room, keeping it dynamic, moving it forward. All right. Well, thank you for starting to set the stage for desired outcomes for today. We're ready to have our next speaker come on up. Next speaker that we have coming here will be introducing a panel. His name is Tim Kopp. He's the Vice President of Transmission and Distribution Planning for EPE. And we have him here. If we could have you come on up, Tim, and then you'll invite your panel to come talk about the discussion about greening the Midwest.